Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5 The Zone. Welcome in on a Monday morning after a mixed weekend for local sports fans. The Aggies won. I doubt they're happy. I mean, they're happy the 6-game losing streak is over, but 2-6 are probably not that happy. But, hey, at the end, they made the plays and they beat Wyoming, so that's what matters. The Utes did not make the plays. They did not trail in the entire game until the end of the final play. What a great way to lose, huh? What a gut punch. Houston kicks a field goal right at the end and wins. The Ute offense, Andy Ludwig is gone, but it is not fixed. It is still a mess. And then there's BYU on the road, 2 time zones, playing a team that had just scared Iowa State. They got up 17-0, and the game was never tied, and they blew it wide open, I thought, in the third quarter. Last 10 minutes or so, they coasted to the finish line. We could admit that. But it was still a 37-24 win. Good enough. They're 8-0. They're into a bye week, and they got the Utes, who you would think they're going to be favored by, 10 points or so? I mean, it's a rivalry game, so maybe they'll knock that down. But the Utes just can't score points. So it's time to hear from everyone who played this weekend, including the Utah Hockey Club, beaten in L.A., a better performance, but not a good one. They lost 3-2. So 3 straight losses. And now they get the San Jose Sharks. Tonight, at home, Sharks haven't won a game yet. The only team in the NHL that doesn't have a win yet. Actually, everybody else has 2. So great chance to win. For what went wrong in L.A., here's Adrian Denny with a recap of the game Saturday afternoon.
Utah Hockey Club back in action tonight. Will host San Jose 7 p.m. from inside Delta Center. Utah hosting Calgary on Wednesday, looking for a couple of wins before they hit the road. Saturday, they were in Los Angeles, a 3-2 win for the Kings after Logan Cooley got a big goal in the third period for Utah to pull them within 1.
On the overlap, it's Kesselring right to the front, tipped in, and they score! Utah pulls within 1, and it's Logan Cooley, who was parked in the Garden of Eden and tapped it through Kemper.
Utah, though, unable to get the equalizer in the final 10-13 of the third, and Los Angeles is able to get their 5th win of the year. Utah coming back home at 4-4-1. The big story on Saturday, the Utah debut of Nick Bjugstad. 22 goals last year at Arizona, a veteran of almost 700 games. He's 6'6". He's a big centerman, a huge addition to the lineup for a Utah team. A little banged up on the defensive end, but getting a big forward and a big leader back in the lineup on Saturday as Utah looks to get things rolling back tonight with San Jose. We heard from Nick after the game on Saturday on some good stuff and just continuing to push for Utah.
You know, I mean, we were there, but being there isn't enough. A lot of nights here in the NHL, so we'll figure it out. But, yeah, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad, but like I said, we got better.
I know this is your first game back, but as far as late goal scoring, the last 6 of 7 goals have come late in the game. What's the kicker to get that momentum started earlier?
I think it's just the mentality, believing it's going to go in and having that kind of killer instinct. You know, there's a difference between just thinking about getting shots on net and actually shooting to score. So, you know, we're going to go through times like this during the season, and you know, we got a lot of good players in there, so we'll figure it out. And yeah, I think definitely we'll focus a little more on our starts and find ways to, you know, kind of not have to tread water and get back.
For you personally, how'd you feel out there today, being the first game back?
I felt all right. Yeah, wind was there, and you know, I felt like, you know, on the goal I could have been a little more on the defensive side. So yeah, just try to keep growing each and every day and try to get better.
Then just lastly, with the changing up of the lines and deep pairs, how does that work well in terms of what coach is trying to help you guys with and generating more?
Bear's got a good eye for who's going and you know, kind of what's clicking. So, you know, they kind of determine that, and you know, there'll be guys moved and middle of the game, and there's a lot of guys that can step up to the plate. So it's a lot of depth, and you know, we can all kind of play with each other. So
thanks, Nick.
As a leader in the locker room, how do you keep this team going even amid this tough stretch?
No, we've been through it. We went through a real tough stretch last year. So I think you learn from those situations, and not ideal going 3 in a row here, but I can't hit the panic button. And when you win, you can't feel too high of yourself. So we got the tools, we got the guys in there, and it's just going to come down to kind of having that killer instinct, as I talked about before. And I think we'll for sure come out of this and be stronger for it.
And also after the game, we heard from head coach Andre Tourigny again with some good stuff that he saw out there.
That was a hell of a hockey game. I think 2 good teams who played really hard. I think we played hard, both sides of the puck. I think it was a one-shot game.
In terms of the switching of the lines and deep partners today, what did you take from some of those combinations?
We try to maximize our group, try to create a spark at some point offensively. I think I felt Cools was playing well. I try, and same thing for Kels. I try to match them together, give us a goal, try to spark something.
As far as having Nick back in the lineup, what did that do to help kind of kickstart some of that energy?
Yeah, he's a big guy. He protect the puck well. He can possess the puck in those kind of a game. I think he was an asset for us today.
As far as getting more goals earlier in the game, what's going to help motivate that earlier instead of getting them towards the end?
It's not the motivation, I can tell you that. We got this. I think it's a really tight game. They score on the wrister from the blue line on their power play. We hit our own shot, our own stick. If you look, there are 3 goals. Shot through traffic. I think that's how stingy we were at closing the slot, and I don't think we gave up more than 6-7 shots of the slot into our game. So that's pretty good.
Logan Cooley scores his first of the season. How big was that goal for him?
I think it's great for him. I think he's working hard. He played his best game in the couple games. I think really like his game both sides of the puck, his compete level. He made some play. I could see. I'm happy for him.
Something you like to say is you like to look at tomorrow ahead of the week. What are the plans for tomorrow for the next game?
Day off. I think it's a CBA day off tomorrow. I think we earned it. I like the way the guys fought. Obviously, it's not the result we won, but it's a good league, good team. We played good. They played good. It's frustrating. That's it.
For Utah, Saturday was the first 1-goal loss of the season. Now 4-1-1 in 1-goal games as they were trying to force a game past regulation for the 5th time in their first 9 games. They had been the best team in the NHL when trailing going to the 3rd period, but it would fall short in the loss to battle-tested Los Angeles. We talked about that first goal of the year for Logan Cooley. He scored 20 goals last year for Arizona in his rookie season. So a big goal there, and it's going to be the start of something for him offensively. That goal was assisted by Dylan Guenther. Cooley, Guenther, and Josh Doan played together on a line on Saturday, all 3 22 or under. So look for that line at Delta Center here tonight when the Utah Hockey Club takes on the San Jose Sharks. 7 o'clock, we'll be on the air with Hockey Night in Utah at 6 right here on the KSL Sports Zone. We'll be on 1280 tonight with that and Mike Folta bringing you all of your play-by-play action at 7.
There's Adrian Denny now. Don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. This week on Win Ticket Wednesday, you can win a family 5-pack of tickets to watch the Jazz take on the Suns at the Delta Center November 12th. Listen to The Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. When we come back, time to hear from the Utes. What went wrong in Houston? That's next. Good morning. DJ and PK is proudly presented by our title sponsor, Black Desert Resort, Utah's premier golf resort. It's time to hear from the Utes, Micah Bernard, Karene, Reid. What went wrong as they lose to Houston 17-14 on a field goal as time runs out?
Obviously, you guys started off well, and then things kind of just stalled out again. Kind of where are you seeing it all fall apart today?
Can't answer that. I'm not going to answer that. I know what it is, but I'm not going to answer that.
Can you give us any insight as to how to be? Or?
No, I'm sorry. Can't. Sorry. Appreciate you.
Karene, I mean, you guys fought tough on the defensive side. Obviously, they did well with the run game, but you guys were still in the game. I mean, how frustrating is this in this situation?
Super frustrating.
We played tough. Obviously, it's not good enough. We shouldn't have allowed 17 points to start off with. So we got to be better. We got to be better. Where do you go from this?
Man, you can only go one way. You know, you can only go one way. We've lost, what is this, 4 now? Straight? Where do we go now? We keep going and try to get a win. We got to keep going and try to get a win. We got to figure something out, and we have to put, you know, like I've been saying, the W into the win column. That's the only way we can go. Nobody's going to fall off. Nobody's going to quit on the team. Like, we love football. We just got to love winning more.
Kai, after the Arizona State, or I think it was the TCU loss, Kyle said that keeping the locker room together was one of the number one things. Have you sensed any of that, I guess, down the stretch of 4 games, just a fracturing in the locker room, or just quit from anybody on the team?
No, like I said, I haven't seen none of that. I mean, you know, I love these boys on the defensive side. They love us on the offensive side. We just got to put it together now. I've seen no divide. We're always intermingling. You know, after each drive, they come to us, say, we got this. We go to them, say, we got this. There's no split. There's no divide. We have good love for each other all through the locker room, on both sides of the ball, together, everything. So we just gotta keep going.
Okay. Do you feel like you're seeing signs of progress offensively that you can build on moving forward?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of progress that we've been seeing. We just got to put it in all 4 phases. Like, we got to run the ball efficiently. We didn't really run the ball efficiently today. They had a good plan for that. We got to throw the ball better. We didn't really throw the ball that well today. I think we gave up 2 turnovers. That's correct. Coach Witt says all the time, we can't turn over the ball. We got to win the turnover margin, and I don't think we won the turnover margin today. So
There's Micah Bernard and Karene Reid. Now here's Kyle Whittingham.
You know, we seem to keep finding the same blueprint to lose. First of all, we're not scoring enough points. You know, still not. 14 points won't get you many victories. We're having a hard time rushing for 100 yards. Having a hard time making first downs. We made 12 first downs. Defensively, having a hard time stopping the run. They were well over 200 rushing the football. We did some really good things on defense. Great red zone defense. Another couple key stops in the red zone turnover on downs. Still not making the impact plays. Only had one takeaway, 0 sacks. So typically we try to get 5 or 6 impact plays a game, but again, for the last several weeks, that's been a struggle for us. We missed a couple field goals that would have been obviously key in the outcome, but not going to make every single field goal. So, but like I said, it's just seems to be a pattern of how we're not getting it done each week, and obviously we as coaches got to be better, starting with me, and every issue that we have in the program is on my shoulders, and that's fine with me. But still have a lot of belief in this football team. We're just in a funk of sorts that we can't seem to break out of. So questions.
Kyle, you switched out Isaac for Brandon. What was kind of your decision there?
Yeah, trying to get a spark, trying to create something. We'd only scored the 1 touchdown, and just didn't seem to be gaining any momentum offensively. So we figured it was time to give Brandon an opportunity, and he came in and he scored 1 touchdown as well. So we got 1 touchdown with each of those guys at QB. But that was the reason, is just to try to generate a spark.
Where does that go with Isaac at this point? I mean, do you re-look at that going into the offseason, or the bye week, or do you
we'll grade the film, and there's a good body of work from each guy in this game. Of course, Isaac has a much bigger body of work in the season, but we'll see how Rosie did with his reads and what he did with the opportunities that he had, and then make a decision which one we're going to go with. But I'm not saying Isaac has lost his job, but everybody's got to play up to a certain standard, and so the quarterback position is no different. And so we'll take a long, hard look at that and see where we are.
Mike, Jake Ian's first game as offensive coordinator, what do you think of the game he called?
He did some good things. He was put in a tough spot, and you think he's going to create a miracle in 5 days on the job. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I thought we added some things to the offense that were helpful. The touchdown to Keithy, the second play of the game was an addition, and so I think that there was some good added elements to the offense. We still, came away with about 300 yards and only 12 first downs, like I said. So the end result, still not where we need it to be. But again, don't expect him to be a miracle worker in 5 days. Just not realistic.
The offensive line struggled tonight. Is that, and it's been an issue the last couple. Has that just been, defenses being very aggressive?
A little of that, a little of us blowing assignments at times and not playing as well as we need to. So I don't think it's any one particular thing. But everybody's got to be better. And again, coaches especially. Me is where it starts.
Question: have you noticed anything, different in terms of the way the coaches are coaching the players this season than years past? And what do you do to correct that at this point of the season?
Haven't noticed anything of that nature. We have a process and a way that we handle our business and how we practice in our work week and what our expectations and demands are, and that has not been changed or compromised, I guess maybe is the better word. And so, no, we're not, and that's, to me, you obviously question everything you're doing because you want to find the answers to what's going on, but you don't just panic and make a wholesale change and change everything you've done for however many years that's worked very well. So that's where we're at.
There's Kyle Whittingham. The Utes have 2 weeks to try and figure things out, make some improvements, see if they can shock BYU in 2 weeks. We've got 2 weeks to build up to the rivalry game. Plenty of time to talk about that. We'll talk about the Cougars next as they win again and beat UCF in Orlando. That's next. Stay with us. Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5 The Zone, and it's time to hear from the BYU Cougars as they pick up the win at UCF. Isaiah Glasker with an interception in the game set up the field goal that put them up by 24 and really signified to everyone this thing is over. Here is Isaiah Glasker.
Isaiah, how motivated were you guys by the fact that they were favored to win? UCF was favored to win despite your
Yeah, we've seen that. We know what we're capable of, and just seeing us being an underdog, we knew we needed to come out here and fight. We knew that they're a good team and stuff, so we prepared how we usually prepare, and we came back on top. So,
take us through the interception and that moment, what you saw, and kind of walk us through.
I was a gut dropper, so a 3 dropper. I happened to drop straight back. I don't think he knew because I kind of bluffed in the play, I kind of acted like I was blitzing, and I don't think he noticed I was just going to drop straight back and happened to run an over route, and I just kind of played it through, and he threw it right to me. So,
you guys obviously know about the threat of RJ Harvey at running back. Big part of that is loading the box and making sure he doesn't get past the line. How were you guys able to do that?
Honestly, it was just us kind of compacting the middle, making him bounce out. We know we had a couple big runs, but it's kind of it was our game plan to have him bounce out of the box, and then we just kind of make plays from there. So
to follow up on that, Jakari Brown didn't have the best game at quarterback. How are you able to throw him off?
Just giving him different looks, I would say. We would bluff on plays and just kind of just made it so he wasn't really sure what kind of defense we were in, and I feel like that kind of helped us in the long run. So.
How motivated was this defense coming into this game to kind of prove that last week was kind of an anomaly stopping the run, and that you guys, that wasn't the norm for you guys?
I don't know. Coming from last week, we know Ollie Gordon had a good day for sure, and just coming into this week, we knew that we needed to stop the run. We needed to show people that we can stop the run, and that's kind of what we did. So.
0 last week to 7 this week, and do you feel like you're getting a lot of practice at stopping some really, really good running backs in this league?
Oh yeah, for sure. We know their running back's pretty good, and it's always good seeing good running backs in the Big 12, and we know that every team that we play is going to have somebody that's pretty good, so it just kind of makes our defense better.
RJ Harvey had over 100 rushing yards going into the half, and you guys were able to contain him for only a few more in the second half. What were some of the defensive adjustments that you guys made?
Honestly, it wasn't really adjustments. It was just we were getting good play calls. We just have MAs, missed assignments, so us just cleaning that up, it helped us out, and that's why we were able to contain him in the second half. So.
On the few that you did break off, was it just missed assignments?
Yeah, for sure.
That was it?
Yeah.
you kind of taken aback still by the fan turnout? I know you've been around this program a while, but just road game and the amount of big blue that was in the stands for this one.
See, I wasn't surprised just because, like, I know how BYU fans travel, and, like, I'm super grateful for them, especially being able to look up in the stands and seeing all blue. It kind of gives us motivation, too. And it's like, especially when we run out there, you get getting chants from the UCF fans, and all of a sudden you could just hear the BYU fans, and they're loud, too. So I'm super grateful that we have the fan base that we have. So
are you expecting that same amount of blue 2 weeks from now?
Hopefully more. Yeah, for sure. So
there's Isaiah Glasker. Now here is Jake Retzlaff and L.J. Martin. L.J. running for over 100 yards. Retzlaff had a good game throwing the ball, ran for the first touchdown himself. Here they are.
I think we moved the ball pretty well. I don't know what the total yards is, but I know at the end there it was getting inching closer and closer to 500 at the end. You know, when you get close to 500 yards of offense, you know, there's a good chance you're going to have a favorable result. I think we should have scored more touchdowns and kicked less field goals, in my opinion. But I don't know. I got to watch the film. But, you know, 37 points is something to be pretty proud of.
Jake, how close do you think this offense is to the top end, like we were talking about earlier in the week, of where you want to be?
Yeah, man, we're close, man. We're having better and better games each week. We're getting better and better each week. And so it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch our progress throughout the season. And just know that we're going to get better and better, and we're going to peak when the time is right.
It seemed like plenty of times where you guys had 2nd and 20, or we're on 3rd and short, and you guys just couldn't get off the field. You guys kept struggling and going down. What did you guys see on tape? You ever convert on 3rd down?
You guys made plays. On 3rd and long is a down for us that we make sure we're not going to make anything a really bad mistake. A lot of times you see teams get really aggressive on 3rd and long. That's where turnovers happen, but Coach A-Rod was calling some plays, man. He was dipping deep in his bag, and we were executing pretty well. Made some great catches. I know Darius had one on that 2nd and 20. He had a great catch, diving catch. Just guys making plays. And can't say enough about this O-line, man. Rushing for that many yards. I can't even see it somewhere on here, but we ran for a lot of yards. And I know in that rush game they take away like sacks and stuff like that, and even though they're pass plays, and they still ran for that many. So I'm proud of that O-line, man. They stood tall, and that is a really good defensive line. Week after week, those guys play really well, and that's a really good, really athletic team. And so they did a good job holding up when they needed to.
To follow up on that, you guys had 40 minutes of possession time. UCF had 20. What does staying on the field on 3rd down and continuing to drive do for that and fatiguing the defense?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a big deal, right? When you get down there and they have to sub their D-line, now they don't have their star guys in. That helps us in the run game. This guy took advantage of that on that 12-yard rush for a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, that was something we emphasized this week and last week, is making sure we convert on 3rd down, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that. I don't know what the exact number is on 3rd downs, but I thought we did a pretty good job staying on the field.
Jake, how excited were you at the end of the 2nd quarter, less than a minute left, I believe, take the field, and ends up being a Chase Roberts 60.
You guys know how I feel about 2-minute drill. We love it, man. We take advantage of 2-minute drill in every way we can. Yeah, we're excited. That's a funny route I threw. I don't think I completed that route one time all fall camp, maybe once, and so completing in a game is always fun. Just knowing we're prepared for anything that comes to us, and so yeah, it was fun.
LJ, we've asked Jake about this a couple of times, and so I kind of wanted to get sort of the inverse reaction. Where have you seen his kind of the most growth from him, the most progress from him as QB1, as a signal caller?
Like he said, on 3rd and down, you know, he just made better decisions, you know, like times where we got to throw the ball away, or, you know, he just tucks it and just runs, you know. I feel like he's improved a lot in his decision-making and things like that, so he's really improved a lot.
Jake, how fired up were you guys about the fact that UCF was favored to beat you guys, although you got a much better record?
What is it, day games, traveling across the country? I don't know what excuse the book is going to come up with next, but yeah, we definitely took 2.5 personally. I'd say our locker room looked at that and got a little extra fired up for sure.
How about you, LJ? That fire you up?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just every game I just want to play my best, you know, so I feel like, you know, whatever the outside noise is, it doesn't really faze me. I'm just trying to get on to the next, or, you know, I'm just trying to go out there and compete with my guys, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
You guys had quite a turnout, a lot of fans, a lot of Cougars fans. What did that mean to you? That give you some additional juice today?
Yeah, it definitely helps out a lot, you know, whenever we go to an away game and, you know, we have as much fans probably the home team. You know, it really helps out a lot. I mean, on third down, it's not as loud and things like that, so it really helps out a lot with communication and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've been saying we got the best fan base in the country, and they showed up today. It's fun.
Like on many pass attempts, there was almost 10 yards of separation from you and the next CFD back. What did you guys see in the defense to be able to convert some of those big passing plays?
Those guys made plays. We got some really good receivers, man. And is any given guy on any given day, it's surprising me that there was only 4 receivers in the receiving column tonight, which I don't know how true that. Didn't you have a catch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the top 4, I think, on that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. I was going to say, usually there's a lot more on there, and there was tonight, and guys made plays. Coach Fessy was down them up, our receivers coach, and our guys were making plays. We got some of the best receivers in the country, and nobody knew that, I don't think, going into the season, and they're starting to realize it week after week.
Okay, as you know, I'm writing an article about you for the Jewish Journal. I spoke to your father for like 40 minutes on the phone the other day, so I don't have many questions for you, and I asked a question to the coach. But what's it feel like with so much anti-Semitism that you're bringing so much joy to people and such an inspiration to everyone?
The world's a better place when we're just positive with each other. And so that's all I can be, is super positive. Just in every aspect of life. If you talk about doing things, the law of attraction, Coach Kalani talks about it a lot. If you talk about doing things and talk about being successful, you got a better chance to be successful. And so when it comes to the global lookout on conflict, if we're just more positive, man, the world will be a better place. And I think if we just understood each other, it'd be better. But, you know, that's all I try to do, man, is be positive. Just bring people together. Bring the LDS community and bring the Jewish community together. And like, now, you know, people tell me, like, dude, my best friend's Jewish, and now he's a huge Cougar fan. Dude, I work with, I have a Jewish colleague, and now he's a huge Cougar fan. Like, that's awesome to me. Like, that's just more positivity to me. They get to cheer for something on a Saturday, and that's more positivity. That's awesome. And then you get to inspire kids, and that's the most fun part.
Your father kind of predicted that you would say this. But I do want to tell you something that BYU doesn't know. Every governor of Utah has been Mormon, except for the 4th one, Simon Bamberger. There was a Jewish governor of Utah.
That is surprising to me. It's cool.
You guys,
any more questions?
You guys head into your.
Sorry, last question for Jake, and we'll get some more for LJ, and then we're gonna have a defensive player.
Sorry about that. You guys head to your bye week. You have Poland coming up against Utah, but the college football playoff standings will come out between that. 8-0 now. You guys are building some momentum. Do you guys discuss? You guys curious where you stand maybe when those playoff standings come out, or what's kind of the discussion in the locker room about where you stand kind of in the national picture at this point?
This team, I've talked about it before, but this team is so good at approaching the moment and keep the main thing. We're not, you know, if you sit 2/3 of the season and start looking towards the college football playoff, you're not doing the right things. You got to stay focused on the game ahead of you. Coach A-Rod says it. He says each week is a Super Bowl. We won Super Bowl 8 today for our season. We got to prepare for Super Bowl 9, which is a good Utah team. And we know, obviously, about the rivalry. It's one of those games where you throw records, throw rankings out the window. It's going to be a dogfight. We know that. So, you know, we're going to be celebrating this win, getting home safe. And then it's nice to have a little bye week to just regroup and then get back to work. You know what I mean? It's going to be a work week next week. Bye weeks are the misconceptions, they're off weeks, and for us, it's still work weeks, and so we're going to get back to work and just keep getting better every week.
More questions for LJ?
LJ, you had 101 yards on the ground. What did you see through UCFD line? Big guys, but you were able to make some plays.
Yeah, that was credit to the O-line. They were moving guys out the way, and they were just able to make really clear reads for me. They just did a great job all night, just getting me to the second level and then trying to make guys miss.
Do you feel like you got a little bit of that thunder and lightning that we talked about with you for a while in the preseason tonight? Because it felt like the two of you kind of did some. I don't know who was thunder, who was lightning, but I felt like you kind of had a little bit of that connection.
Yeah, you know, that's my guy. Ever since I've been out here, he's really took me under his wing. Like, I feel like that's like my bigger brother. So, you know, just seeing him go out there and performing the way he did, I knew he was capable of it, and I've seen him put in all the work to be able to do that. So, you know, it was just awesome to see that, and then, you know, just to get it going.
Did you feel healthy out there tonight? You've struggled with obviously some things, but you look as healthier than you've ever been, I think.
Yeah, this is the best. I felt definitely better than last week. Last week, I feel like I was struggling a little bit moving, but I feel a lot better this week.
One more question right here, it looks like.
I'm not sure if Jake is still taking questions, but if both of you could answer this one. Kind of bouncing off of his question from a little bit ago. This is your first game against Utah, if I understand correctly. I'm sure you all are well versed in the history of the rivalry. I know this is looking a little far ahead, but what have you heard about the game? What are your thoughts going into this, your biggest rivalry game?
I've never been part of a rivalry, so I mean, it's new to me. For me, it's just another game. Just go out there, try to win, and just give it our best. That's what we try to do every game. So this game shouldn't be any different. We're just going to go out there, try to give our best effort, and the outcome's going to be the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, similar answer, LJ. You're right. We haven't been a part of this rivalry yet, and we're excited for the next chapter. And so it's gonna be a fun game. But like you said, it's looking pretty far forward right now. We're looking forward to our post-game meal and then getting on that plane and getting back to Provo. So, yeah, like you said, we're gonna approach that game like any other game, and we know just emotions might be high that week.
There's Jake Retzlaff and LJ Martin. Now here's Kalani Sitake.
Really happy with the team. I think all three phases are doing some really good things. I think we got it a little interesting at the end there, but glad the guys. I mean, they're good, valuable reps for us to understand the situation and play some good, valuable reps for us to learn from. But overall game, happy with all three phases. Like to see us take care of the football a little bit better. I think we really lucked out when LJ fumbled and then he was able to get the ball back. I don't know how he did it. I got to watch the film, but the turnovers matter, and I'm glad the defense was able to force a couple. But it's a tough team, man. We play assignment sound football. I think we can do some really good things on defense, and special teams, and offense. I like to be a little bit more efficient, but man, I can't be too picky when you get the win here and you're on the road, and we traveled time zones to get here. So really excited about the leadership on this team, the belief and the love that they have for each other. We're going to keep rolling. Really, really proud of the fans that showed up, and it was amazing to have all our fans here and see that much of Royal Blue. It was so cool. And so I wanted to just tell the fans thank you so much for being there. And I know my in-laws were part of that, so that was a lot of fun. But good to be in Florida and to get this win, and then feel really good about the performance. Now looking forward to getting better and getting to the next one, but learning some lessons from this, and wish UCF a lot of the best. And in the field, I mean, they have some really good players. I can see what they have so many different guys that can use. So I know that Gus will get his guys rolling. But I mean, I thought. We knew that it was going to be tough, but I thought that it was going to take our best and be a little bit more disciplined. I don't know what the penalties were, but I know we gave up some offside stuff like that we shouldn't be doing, false start and all that. So we'll clean it up and get ready for the next one. But really excited that we got this win. So what questions do you guys have for me?
Coach, you had a big-time drive at the end of the first half. It seemed like momentum was kind of shifting towards UCF. They would have had the ball at half and had a chance to make it a tie game. But instead, you guys go down the field, score a touchdown, make it 24-10. Just talk about that possession.
Yeah, I can't remember. Do you remember how much time we had going into that last drive? Maybe
59 seconds.
So just right about a minute. Yeah, I mean, we practice those situations all the time. So it was nice to see us do that a couple weeks ago and get the win. It was nice to see us, do that again in the end of the half and kind of just get some points and make it. I think it became a 2-score game after that, and so and then in the second half come out and defense did a good job getting a stop, and I believe we scored the next drive after that on offense. So I just complimentary football. The guys are playing. They understand the game. They understand the situation, and I have to give them a lot of praise for understanding football. And their football IQ's been awesome. It's good to coach smart kids and guys that care and know the type of situation. I mean, if coaches don't have to coach it all the time, the players can coach each other. That makes it a lot easier.
How critical was the start of the game, getting that touchdown, and UCF off the punt at first defensive series?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can start like that, that's good for us, and I think we started on offense first quite a bit the last 3 weeks or so, the last 3 games, and we would have scored on every drive except for I decided to go on 4th down on one of them instead of going to kick the field goal. But I like the momentum, I like the rhythm that the offense is getting into, and I know that we can go fast if we need to, and I know that we can huddle. We wanted to be efficient and make sure that we play efficient football on offense and possess the ball a little bit and just kind of grind it out a little bit. We knew it was going to be a physical game. We wanted to embrace it. So I'm just glad the way the guys responded the right way.
Well, how much did you leverage the fact that UCF was favored to win this game with your guys?
I mean, it's all about, we've said this from the beginning, that we want to prove ourselves right more than anything, but it doesn't hurt to prove some people wrong too. You know, it's a byproduct of doing it right, but that's not our drive. Our drive is that we know, and our focus is we know that we know how good we can be. And I really believe we can play better. That's every week we could keep getting there, and I'm encouraging and challenging the leaders to take over the team, to keep finding ways to improve just a little bit. And if we can put that all together, man, I think we're going to like the result. You know, so week to week, I can say that I think we've improved in a lot of different ways, and the consistency that we're seeing from the offense, I think we were able to run for a lot of yards again, and so it keeps us balanced and it keeps teams guessing. I like that position that we're in with the offense, and I like that the defense is making some plays. We gave up some big plays, but we know the reason why is in the first half, those two big plays were what cost us, gave them 10 points, you know. But even if we're assignment sound, I think we can be better, but we can't give freebies or shoot ourselves in the foot with missed assignments. And that the first half, that's what we knew. In the second half, we wanted to just play. Everyone does their 111, does their job, and good things will happen. And then they gained some momentum by getting a late score. And again, if you look at it, we had one corner covering two wideouts. That's not going to really work that well for us, you know. And they scored on that. So and even the other times that we were bringing different pressures and doing different coverages, there was a break in it. So we definitely need to improve there on defense. But looking overall, people do whatever they want. They can doubt us. It's okay. We know what we're made of. We know how hard we worked in the offseason, and I'm just excited. I'm not really worried about all the who's favored and all that stuff. I mean, this is the result that we wanted. So.
Coach, you mentioned the leadership. Is that what might be most special about this group after 8 weeks? What's really driving this group right now?
Yeah, great young man, great character, and I love who they are, and I love that they love the game of football. You know, and we're not. People say, well, what's the difference this year compared to last year? We're doing the same thing. We just want the team to keep believing in each other, and I've always tried to encourage the team to take over. But sometimes you go through some adversity so you can benefit from it, you know. And I can tell you that the seniors, it matters to them way more than it does to everybody else. But it's good to have returning seniors that can be leaders and can be coaches are supposed to say things. When players say it to each other, it means more. So I'm seeing that, and I'm going to keep encouraging it.
UCF held the 181 on the ground. What were your impressions of the rush defense today?
I liked it. There's some things I didn't like about it. You know, I mean, you have to give them a lot of credit. They have such talent in a lot of different positions, especially at the running back position. So we knew that was going to be a tough task, but I think it's just the chunk yards that we gave up concerns me, and a lot of that I think are very fixable. But the question is, why are we making those mistakes? That's what we're going to get to. Really positive things. The guys' effort and the energy and the aggressiveness and how physical they are. I'm not concerned about that, because I'm going to praise it, and that was really good. But why are we making these mistakes? Let's just try to figure that out. But I think a big part of that too is that UCF has some great athletes, and this is what they're good at doing. They capitalize on you making mistakes, and they do it with their tempo. So I mean, Gus Malzahn's a great coach. He knows how to do that, and he finds different spots. And I think we're able to change it up a little bit on them. But you know, I'm glad that we had a comfortable lead that we can work on some of these things still.
So follow up.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, this is just a comment. I'm writing an article in Jake for the Jewish Journal, and I've been covering college football for years, and I just want to say the BYU fans are like the nicest people I've ever met. And you really embraced all cultures.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, we love that he's, you know, his background and his faith is important to us. We want to encourage him to live his faith as openly and as much as he wants. And so I think that looking at the similarities that we have I think everybody looks at the differences in religion, and this is a time that we can look at the things that are in common and can build on that, and then you can appreciate each other. And he's brought a different perspective and different light to our team, and I'm glad he's here. But all of them have their unique perspectives, and the more they share and are vulnerable around each other, the better our team will be.
But then really, Jake, how do you think he performed today?
I thought he did good. I mean, I have to look at his numbers. There's the hard thing about a quarterback is sometimes there's some drops that were out there that I wish didn't happen, and the turnover was it a fumble that happened, and the sacks. It's like I don't think the sacks you can really complain about the O-line. I think he was trying to make plays. When he scrambled for that touchdown at the beginning, it's kind of like, hey, just don't get used to thinking that that's going to be what you got to do. There's nothing wrong with throwing the check down or throwing the ball away. And I think he tried to test it a little bit. And UCF's defensive front is really good. That's some talent, man. Those guys are big and aggressive, and they're fast. So they're able to get some sacks on us, but you have to look at it. You can't just blame the O-line for it. I think he has some fault in there. But overall, I think he's playing really good football. I like that he's lined up. We got the call in a little late a couple times. That takes some timeouts, and we need to clean that up as a coaching staff and put him in a position to make big plays. But I like the way that he's managing the offense right now.
What kind of offense?
Two good questions here and one here, then maybe time for one more.
Okay.
With the kind of offense UCF has, how important was it to be able to convert on third downs, got the big fourth down play, and hold the ball for 40 minutes and keep that kind of high-powered offense off the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we like to do anyways, and we want to be able to, when we're talking about efficient offense, sometimes we felt like we had to just sometimes huddle and talk to each other and look at each other, have some eye contact and discuss some things and then get out there and make the play. But I like that we have a variety of different tempos we can do. And you saw the 2-minute tempo that we did at the end of the first half. But that takes a lot of work, and I don't know if our offensive coordinator gets enough praise for what he's done with them and our offensive staff. So they've done a great job, and for me, it's just nice to be able to call on different type of tempos and different styles so we can play complementary football.
With LJ and Hinckley both basically getting the same amount of carries, is that kind of how you want it to look at the end of the day with 15 and 13 carries for both of them? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I like the average that they had too. I think other than the one issue with ball security that LJ had, I mean, we wanted to work these two guys from the very, very beginning of the year, so having them, the 1-2 punch, I think is really good. And we got to see Miles carry the ball a little bit there, and I just like the way that they're playing all overall, and it's good to have them both healthy. But yeah, I don't know if we're going into it saying, okay, let's divvy out the carries this way. We're all about getting first downs and scoring points, and so those guys are appreciative of the time they get to play. They're doing a great job in pass pro, run blocking, and even catching the ball. So I love the way that Harvey has those guys playing right now.
Okay, last two here and here.
Yeah, speaking on going back to RJ Harvey, he's one of the more dominant rushers in the nation. He had over 100 rushing yards in the first half, and you just seemed to contain him in the second half. What went into that? And speak on that.
Well, he's just so dangerous, man. You have to be really, really assignment sound to be able to contain him, but he's just dangerous because his ability to stop and go is very unique, and that's why he's a big time player. I think he's a next level player, but it was difficult for us, especially that style. You don't see it. It's hard to simulate it in practice with your scout team. They work hard for it, but when you see the actual speed in person, you can appreciate it. For me, after the game, but we knew when we watched film how dangerous he could be, and he proved it today. But I'm glad that we were able to kind of minimize the gain, even though he had his yards.
I actually get the best way to end the conference. In 2 weeks after your bye, you've got the Holy War coming up. This is actually the longest break in the rivalry since World War II. Given that this is a game that both you and Utah's head coach have actually played in, how important is the game, especially now that your team is undefeated going into it?
Yeah, the game's important regardless of the records on both sides. This is a unique rivalry. It's like we kind of need each other. You know what I mean? That if my background with that place, so I have a lot of respect and admiration for University of Utah and how they run their program and their fans. There's a lot of really good people on that side, and there's a lot of good people on our side. So I think it's a good moment for us to make sure, it's nice to have them back in the conference again, and that we can play a little bit more consistently. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, we have some time to work on getting ready for that game, but I think it's important for us to appreciate this game and celebrate it and have fun with this, and then we'll get to work on them. But in terms of the game and the rivalry, we're excited about it. I know they are too, and looking forward to the matchup. But more than anything, just love that it's back on the schedule again. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There's Kalani Sitake. A reminder, you can win lunch from the Zone and Cafe Rio on Taco Tuesdays. Listen every Tuesday for your chance to win a $20 Cafe Rio gift card. Learn more about Taco Tuesday and the great deals available every week at CafeRio.com. What is trending is next.